Hmm. This is what power looks like. Hmm. Is that what it looks like? You know, for a bully, yeah. Power is the inability to fight back. Yes. Now it's so nice that you're so pretty. Pooh. But for me, I'm one of these unattractive men that uses a large amount of profanity. Yes. And since I have to be considerate of the YouTube community, I'm not able to really talk the way that I would want to. See, I actually do use profanity. I don't curse, but I do cuss quite often. Yes. And when pretty women like now don't understand what bullying is, yes. When we spent billions of dollars instructing those in schools about bullying, yes. And that if you were to harass somebody, you get taken to the principal's office and they'd have a nice talk with you about why we don't do this. Yes. Now, when I told you yesterday, yes, and you have the videos from June 16th of 2017, right? I wasn't in Jefferson County. And then there's this idea of the cyber stalking, yes, as in the prosecuting attorneys, yes, think that they can take cyber stalking out of the restraint provisions of the fraudulent protection order, yes, and then they can make up some crap about me sending an email, yes, to numerous recipients, including people at Heidi Budnick's workplace. Now, somebody doesn't like me using the word lie, as in, my wife lied about domestic violence and child abuse. Well, it's a lie. I actually wasn't an abusive husband. Yes. We were married for 10 years. We went through some very difficult times known as a credit crisis. Yeah. And we moved to Guam so that I could find employment. Yes. Now, I know that you thought we were just going to live on welfare the rest of our lives, but the truth of the matter is, I was actively seeking gainful employment right now. Now, the thought is that the police departments, when they make up fraudulent crimes, yes, they're abusive. Hmm. Police brutality. And when you don't exonerate an innocent person, even though you have the evidence, yes, that's police brutality. Pooh. And then when you do it a second time in 2017, yes, there seemed to be this motive, right, of not wanting to go to prison for police brutality. Now, it's the adult form of bullying. Yes. Now, people bully others for many reasons. A person may feel jealous toward another individual, may want to attract attention or wish to gain a feeling of power. Yes. Now, this feeling of power that you have in the police departments, yes, I've sent you approximately 3 million emails. I've documented the forgery of the ex officio Superior Court clerk. Yes, I documented that the petitioner did not have to appear in court right now. Now, maybe Brent Basden likes to bully people. Ouch. Because Brent Basden's a Mormon president and he's used to being persecuted right now. Now, I went online and the dissolution of marriage is still there. Yes. And the domestic violence order is still there. Yes. But just looking at it, ri.pdf. Yes. It's probably the original. Yes. That I had scanned in 2015. Yes. See, you served me in the Sequim Public Library by an individual that likes to bully. Yes, because he wanted to teach me the lesson that the whole library was the witness of the actual service of the protection order. Yes. And the weapon surrender form. Oh. Now, this was issued on July 31st of 2015. Yes. Now, what's interesting is it does have certain conditions, right? The order for protection or restraining order restrains the restrained party from causing the protected person or the protected person's children, yes, physical harm, bodily injury, assault, including sexual assault, and from molesting, harassing, threatening, or stalking, or from engaging in other conduct that would place the protected person in reasonable fear of bodily injury to the protected person or children. Yes. Now, this idea of the reasonable fear. See, there's this construct, right? Why did you issue the protection order? Yes, the reasonable fear. Oh, you mean the fear that was the arrest on Guam in 2011, where my wife wanted to take half of the welfare monies we received? Yes, because we got paid welfare on July 1st. All right. And we had an argument about her taking that money and going to buy new clothes for my kids. Mhm. Exactly what reasonable fear do you have of me? Well, you didn't name the petitioner or the respondent? No, no, no. And then you issued this for 8 years, right? And the last one that you issued on July 31st of 2015, yes, was for 10 years. Mm, Reasonable fear from engaging in other conduct that would place the protected person, in reasonable fear of bodily injury to the protected person or children. Yes. Now, since I'm not the domestic abuser, right, and you didn't have jurisdiction, yes, what was it that made you think that I was going to put my wife or my sons in reasonable fear? You know, this is enforceable in every state of the United States, and it's being used to keep my sons from me. Yes. And as I've informed you, yes, there was no jurisdiction to issue it. Because of the stipulation and order that I was on probation right now. Now, let's say that my wife is in reasonable fear of being put in prison for kidnapping, as is every woman that happens to be in politics that has any knowledge of this. You can imagine the amount of fear I could cause, yes, if they have any knowledge of this bullying. Now, since I'm the adult man, yes, that does sue you, and does have you prosecuted, yes, for each of the false arrests right now, for all the time I spent in jail, yes, for the fraudulent mental health evaluations, yes, for every email and every video that I made, yes, where I documented you use forgery and fraud. You may have some fear of what I'm going to do once I get the laws of the United States enforced. Now, that could be an emotional problem for those in law enforcement. Yes. Now, this says the law enforcement officer serving this order may confiscate restrained person's weapon at the time of service. Yes. Now, as I said, I've sent about 3 million of these. Oh, oh. Well, who is it in the employment of the government that's really scared? Yes, because for every time that you arrested me for the false accusation of violating this right now, who is it that's really afraid? Oh, now, service of this. It says Clallam County Sheriff's Office. Yes. Does the sheriff, Bill Benedict, have any fear right now? You know, there's the hair bun again, and the hair clip. These old hags, yes, that said they were the seniors, right, that have been screwing you for the last 50 years, that nobody's going to tell an old hag what she's going to do. See, a lot of them don't like loud-mouthed men that use profanity. Yes. But I'm one of those that as soon as I can get you into court, yes, and the judge says, Mr. Budnick, do you have anything you'd like to tell the defendant? I'm going to say, well, yes, Judge, I do have something I'd like to tell the defendant. And it involves the use of a large amount of profanity. Yes, for being a chicken, chicken poop. Isn't that right, Sheriff? A coward. Yes, a coward, yellow belly, no good, Sheriff.